of shadows.
Hi my angels, it's Hailey Reese and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so excited that you guys are here and I hope that you are having an absolutely fantastic morning, afternoon, or night, whatever it is for you when this video finally reaches you. You guys, today's video is one that I am so interested to hear all of your thoughts, opinions, and theories on because we are once again diving into yet another possession case. Ever since I recently retouched on The Devil Made Me Do It true story, I've been getting a lot of requests from you guys to dive into other possession cases and share them with you guys on here. So today, that is exactly what I'm going to be doing. And as I mentioned, I would just love to hear your guys' thoughts on this particular possession case. But before we get into today's video, I would just very quickly like to thank today's video sponsor, Hunt a Killer. If you guys have been on my channel for a while, you guys would know that Tyler and I absolutely love a good game night, especially since we've been spending so much time inside, and Hunt a Killer has to be one of the coolest games we have ever played. So basically, Hunt a Killer is a murder mystery subscription box. Your help is needed on an investigation so you can hone in on your detective skills from the comfort of your own home. With each detail, you'll sift through piles of documents, evidence, audio recordings, and case files as you eliminate suspects, crack the case, and ultimately catch the killer. And something else that I think is really great is that part of the proceeds from every box go to the Cold Case Foundation, an organization dedicated to helping real-life cases. So not only are you becoming a detective of your own, but you're also helping with real life cases as well. Right now, you guys can go to huntakiller.com/Hailey and use my code Hailey for 20% off of your first box. That's huntakiller.com/Hailey, code Hailey for 20% off of your first box. I honestly think that you guys will absolutely love Hunt a Killer. Tyler and I have had so much fun going back and forth on our theories and just playing the game together. So make sure that you guys check out Hunt a Killer, and thank you so much to Hunt a Killer for not only sponsoring today's video, but for making me feel like a real life detective. All right, so let's get into this particular possession case. So this says it's the possession of Greta Mae. Recently, I watched the latest in the Conjuring series. I wasn't sure if I was going to because I worried it might trigger some suppressed memories I harbor. Shockingly, I found myself finding comfort in the fact there were families out there in the world who had experienced something as traumatic as mine. I decided to look up what people were saying about the film after it released and realized there were so many people out there who think it's just a Hollywood tale. That's why I'm here, to share the story and possession of my sister, Greta Mae. Greta was the best sister I could have dreamed of. She was smart, loving, and never hesitated to take care of me. I remember all I ever wanted was to be like her. She was my inspiration for everything in life. We didn't grow up in an overly religious household. My grandparents had been religious, but neither of my parents carried that on much for us. We attended public school, rarely prayed, and just lived normal lives. When Greta got older, she started hanging around the rebellious crowds, the type to cause trouble just for the thrill of it, if you will. One night, though, everything would change. A group of her friends invited Greta downtown towards the abandoned warehouse. It was said to be haunted, and they wanted to perform some sort of ritual. The goal was to provoke and see whatever could be inside of the warehouse. Rumor had it a woman had been killed there years before. Some people thought dark forces were at play. Others thought it may be a hotspot for darkness to manifest. Either way, because of all this, I remember Greta was hesitant at first, but she decided it might be fun. She knew our parents would never approve, so she made up a lie and asked me to cover for her, which I did. When Greta came home that night, I was so excited to ask her what she'd seen, but to my surprise, she was pretty bland. Said it was boring, nothing had happened, didn't give me anything to excite me. I did notice that she had a band-aid on her finger though. Weird. In the coming weeks, the once sweet Greta was becoming agitated. She would get mad at things for no apparent reason. She wanted nothing to do with me or anyone anymore for that matter. When my parents would try to talk to her, she would scream and lash out, but shortly after, have no real memory of it at all. She started losing a lot of weight, and her once beautiful eyes seemed sunken in, dark and dull. She wasn't eating, she wasn't sleeping, and she started talking very, very strange. My parents got worried about her and brought her to see the doctor, but nothing much would come from that though. The doctor thought that perhaps Greta was doing all of this for attention. They asked if something had changed in the household, to which my parents said, nothing at all. Eventually, Greta would begin to speak in voices that sounded nothing like hers. She was less and less Greta, more and more evil. That's the only way I can really describe it. She would speak in languages we couldn't understand. Her voice was almost a snarl or a growl, and then it would change to even different pitches, but none of which were hers. One night, after another episode, I heard my parents talking downstairs. They had no idea what had happened and where their daughter had went. I decided to open up to them and tell them I noticed she was different ever since what happened down at the warehouse. They were very upset with me for not telling them sooner, but they were appreciative. My dad said that he too had heard about the rumors of the warehouse when he was younger, but that his parents told him never to go there, that whatever was there wasn't human, and nobody should ever want to meet. So they ended up reaching out to one of Greta's friends, who, after being pressed to tell them everything, said that they'd given their blood in sacrifice to see whatever could be inside that warehouse. She said that they didn't think it would actually work. It was just supposed to be a cheap thrill. But then Greta's nose started bleeding and she was completely out of it. When she came to, she didn't remember anything, said she didn't feel good and she wanted to leave. The friends said Greta hadn't reached out to them since, and they assumed maybe she'd just been scared of the whole experience. My parents didn't know what to think of this and wondered if maybe Greta was just acting out. For weeks though, things got worse and worse. Greta started to threaten our lives when she would change. Her voice had changed so much it was like there were multiple people inside of her. I could still hear it in my mind to this day. Finally, my parents decided to reach out to the local church after speaking with my grandparents. I don't know exactly what happened because my parents sheltered me from the reality of it all. They said that they'd prefer I just never knew. But what I do know is after months and months, Greta was free from what they said was multiple demons. Even scarier was the fact Greta hardly remembered anything from the time she was possessed. I asked Greta if she could tell me anything that happened to her, and all she said was something I carry with me every day. God and light are the only way, but the devil is real. I wanted to share my story with whoever may read it because I think it's important to know. It isn't just Hollywood. It is real, and it's happening out there in the world as we speak. Never forget that. And next time you want to mess with dark forces, remember my sister Greta Mae. And that's the end of that particular experience. Now, there are plenty of things in this experience that tie in with other well-known possession cases. The fact that slowly but surely she became more disconnected. She started speaking in different voices, that she was losing a lot of weight. More often than not, that's because demonic entities don't require food for survival. That's a human need. And so they don't eat, they don't fuel the human's body, and it begins to deteriorate. She also started saying that she had no recollection of lashing out, which is something that we've seen in other things. I mean, as we saw in the case of Arnie Johnson, when Arnie came to, he had no idea what he had done. Like, if you've seen the film, he goes, I think I hurt somebody. So it is fascinating to me that all of these things do correlate. Now, what I don't know is what they would have done, particularly down at the warehouse, for this to have happened, and what exactly they had to do to fix it. You know, did they actually get permission to perform an exorcism? What truly happened? But either way, it does sound like other possession cases, and it's just absolutely chilling, especially when movies are released on things like this, to think about the fact that these are people's realities. These are very real experiences to people out there in the world, and it's absolutely horrible. What do you guys think of this particular experience? I would love to know all of your thoughts and theories down in the comment section. I love to read through all of your guys' comments, so please, if you have any thoughts, make sure you comment them down below. And that is it for today's video. Once again, I would just love to thank Hunt a Killer for sponsoring today's video. As I mentioned, you guys can head to huntakiller.com/Hailey and use my code Hailey for 20% off of your first box. If you guys are new to my channel or you are just not yet subscribed but you do enjoy my content, I would seriously love it if you would go ahead and click that subscribe button, and please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness, and until next time,